G'day ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Bitcoin update. We are seeing, according to my estimates on Bitcoin, the final chance for the bearish argument to succeed on Bitcoin. The final chance that the bears have, the final chance the bears have to quote unquote win, even though I don't like looking at it that way. And before we even get into the analysis, I want to discuss that for a second. I don't like the idea of labeling yourself a bull or a bear because it puts you on a team. And if you're on a team, it means you're versing another team. And in that case, versing the other team means you're versing the bears or the bulls. And if you're versing someone, if you label yourself as a bear or a bull, if you put yourself on that team, it makes you unwilling to adapt your position, unwilling to adjust to the new evidence. That's why I don't like necessarily saying things like, oh, the bears are losing or the bulls are losing. I don't like saying it. But for the sake of YouTube and for the sake of simplicity and not explaining that every 3 seconds, I do say it anyway. But I do want to quickly just outline that. That's a very important point. I don't think many people really consider that too much. But look, with that said, I'm going to be hypocritical here. The bears are losing, and the bears have one final chance here. And there's a reason they have one final chance. There's multiple reasons, in fact, and I'll get into that in this video. Before we do that, where are we at on Bitcoin? We are at 30,000. We have broken above 28.6k on the weekly chart. We have broken into the green range here. The green range is indicative of the bullish range, and the red range there below 28.6k is indicative of the bearish range that we've seen for the past 3 years. So we're in good territory here. We're doing well, but we haven't fully debunked the bearish argument yet. I have said for many months, in fact, I've been saying for over a year, okay, in fact, ever since we lost it, I've been saying 28.6k is the major level, one of the biggest levels, the most important single level on the Bitcoin chart for this entire cycle and the last cycle. That is still correct. We have broken above 28.6k, and so you could logically assume that the bear market is over. You could logically assume that Bitcoin has broken upwards here and made good progress, but I'm not willing to say that yet. Even though I've been bullish on the market since 16k, even though I think the bottom was in since 16k on Bitcoin, less than 5% away from the bottom, I'm very bullish on macro, but I'm not willing to say that it's completely over yet and the bulls have completely won. There's no chance to go down new lows because we have a few things to look at. Now, if we are at this price level in 13 days from now, at the end of the month, I will be willing to admit that the bearish argument is completely dead and there is a very small chance that we go down to new lows. And that could probably only happen in a black swan event at this point in time. At this point in time, I'm saying this, I'm telling you this right now, and you can quote me on this. I think that if we are going to see the bearish argument succeed, it is very likely, right, that it will occur, if it's going to succeed, which is unlikely, within the next 13 days before the end of the month. When we hit May, it becomes extremely unlikely, even more unlikely than it is currently, for the bears to quote unquote win. Here's why. In 12 days from now and 13 days from now, we are seeing a monthly candle retest and potential breakthrough or rejection, depending on where we close, of the 21 EMA on the monthly chart. Now, this level, this blue line here, has been the probably single most important indicator Bitcoin has on a macro scale in terms of monthly chart to determine where Bitcoin's price is going. What you'll notice is that every single time, ever, excluding the COVID drop for 1 month, okay? That's a black swan event. Black swan events can't be predicted, and hence they can't be taken too seriously. We can almost look past that. Excluding the COVID drop, every single time we have broken above this blue line, we have skyrocketed to the upside on a macro scale, and every single time we have broken below it, we have gone to the downside on a macro scale. If we have seen a correction, the correction has generally bottomed out on the blue line, and once we bottom out on the blue line and retest it, we go upwards again. This line is nothing but absolutely fundamentally important for Bitcoin, and we are testing that line, and in 13 days we will either get a close above that line, a close above 27.8k, which would validate the break above 28.6k, which right now is kind of speculative, right? That one weekly candle close isn't really enough. We kind of need more than that, and if we get the monthly candle close as well, that would be excellent. So the break to the upside of 28.6k on the weekly chart is speculative at this point in time. And if we get that monthly candle close above 27.9k, I think I said, we will have not only confirmed a break above the 21 EMA on the monthly chart, which has been, as I said, one of the most historically accurate indicators we have here, one of the most historically accurate moving averages, but we also will have seen 2 or 3 weekly candle closes above 28.6k, which is the most important level of the last 3 years. And with both of those facts combined, on top of the fact that we're seeing the 4-year cycle theory play out, which is right here on this chart, 5 micro trends within a larger trend. With all of that combined, if we get that monthly candle close, it becomes basically, look, nothing's uncertain. Nothing's impossible. What I meant to say, nothing's impossible. There are black swan events. They do occur. But from a TA perspective, it's ridiculously unlikely that we go downwards to new lows from that point in time. So 13 days from now, monthly candle, what is it? 27.8k. If we get over that on the monthly candle in 13 days, the bearish argument is as good as dead until further notice. Now, right now, the bears have an opportunity, okay? I don't think it's likely, but they have an opportunity. Daily chart doesn't look particularly good. Bitcoin is overexhausted here. It's overextended. We've seen volume decreasing in this upwards trend since March, right? Over a month now, volume decreasing upwards trend. We've seen kind of this peak formation, a long doji candle at the top here, and a nice little head formation, well, bad little head formation, I should say. We've broken below things like this yellow uptrending line here on the shorter term, and we've come up, and at this point in time, yeah, we could be breaking back above it, as you can see in this recent 4-hourly candle, but we also could be seeing, what we could be seeing here is a cup and handle formation, inverted cup and handle formation, something like that, and then a break downwards here. So I can't tell you right now that the daily chart and the 4-hourly chart are looking good. They're not, right? Another thing we're seeing on the daily chart is stochastic RSI topped out. We're seeing strong resistance on the RSI from that 73 level on the RSI. So there is a chance here. There is a chance that we do get rejected. There is a chance that we do go down. What I would say is that if we do get rejected, it's likely we come down and retest and flip 28.6k, and so that actually wouldn't be too bad. But on the occurrence that we lose that level, that's when we get in the danger zone. That's where the bulls get in the danger zone. So look, you know, I'm not going to completely rule out the bearish argument at this point in time. There's a reason I'm making this video. I'm making this video to say it's for last chance. There is short-term evidence to indicate the market is relatively bearish and exhausted right now. There is short-term evidence to indicate that we go downwards. My point of view is that all the macro evidence outweighs the short-term in the same way it's outweighed the short-term since January. Since January, we've been overextended on Bitcoin. We've continued to go upwards here. Now, if we do reject, if we do go downwards, okay, cool. We've got leadway, okay? So long as we are above, and this is my opinion, right? So long as we are above on Bitcoin, 25.2k, which is the top of the range we had before. So long as we're above that level, top of this range here at 25.2k, I would say that the bullish argument is a lot stronger than the bearish argument. Once we lose 25.2k, if we do, which I don't think will happen, but if it does happen, I will de-risk. I will de-risk from Bitcoin, and I will wait until further notice. And if we lose further levels, such as like 19.7k, then we can start to say, okay, the bottom's not in. But that's kind of my overarching point. And this is why I'm pretty confident with Bitcoin right now, because from an investor's perspective, as I said before, I don't care about being bullish or bearish. It doesn't bother me. I don't care who wins, right? What I do want to see is Bitcoin's macro reliability, with kind of staying consistent. And that's why I want the 4-year cycle to succeed, because if we have macro reliability, which the 4-year cycle offers, giving us the top dates and the bottom dates of each cycle, right, and eventually giving us the price points of each cycle, then, Bitcoin's going to be much more interesting and much more attractive from an investing standpoint, not only for retail, but also for, the big players, the whales, which is really what drives the price action. So you would like to see, and I think everyone would like to see, who's interested in the health of Bitcoin, would actually like to see the 4-year cycle play out. Good thing for us, at this point in time, every single thing we've seen points to it being completely valid. But again, if we do lose levels like 25.2k, if we do fail to close the monthly above, levels like 27.8k here, then we can start to de-risk, and we can de-risk knowing that we made a profit regardless, because our average buying price is at 19k, so we're doing good regardless of what happens here. We're in a good position regardless. But for the long-term health of Bitcoin, yeah, look, I want the bullish argument to play out, obviously. Who doesn't? Now, as I said before, I don't think it's likely that we see the monthly candle close below 27.9k. I do think it's likely that the bulls quote-unquote win. One of the reasons for that, on top of all the other reasons I've listed in like many videos, is actually the fact that, we're looking at a monthly chart here. We're looking at the 21 EMA on the monthly chart. That's the main point of concern we have. If we're looking at what the monthly chart is doing, right, it's copying exactly what it's done in previous cycles. We form a red horizontal support line. We lose that line as well as for 21 EMA. We come down and we bottom out in the yellow. We've done that 2 separate times. We've done it again here in 2022. And so everything's going a perfect to plan. And when we get back above that blue line, we generally skyrocket. It may take a while. We may see some consolidation like 2019, but we do skyrocket eventually. And if we're looking at the monthly chart from a different perspective, we can see that we've seen a monthly chart bullish candle cross between the 14 moving average, right, on the monthly chart, and the monthly chart RSI itself. Each 3 times we've seen this occur in history, we've seen a 5,700% gain, we've seen a 228% gain, and we've seen a 550% gain. So each time we've seen this happen, we've seen a massive gain. already on Bitcoin. Ever since for 2 months ago this has occurred, right, we've seen a gain of 39%. So we have every piece of evidence to believe, as per TA, that Bitcoin will continue going upwards here based on the Bitcoin charts. But it's not over yet. We do still have 13 days. If something dramatic happens in 13 days that brings the Bitcoin price downwards, okay, and we fail to close above the monthly candle, then it's not over. That doesn't mean the bottom's not in by any means, right? The bottom's not in if we start closing below actual levels. If we fail to get a monthly candle close above 27.8k, the bearish argument is more relevant again, right? It doesn't mean it's won or anything like that. It's won once we start losing levels like 25.2 and 19.7. At this point in time, everything's bullish. I'm just making this video to inform you of what needs to happen for the bearish argument to survive. And at the same time, you know, and given that, what needs to happen for it to die. So look, 13 days. In 13 days from now, the bear market could be officially labeled as over. Very important times, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. I've got a few things to look at before we end it. Sorry for being a little bit flustered, by the way. BitGet Exchange is one of them. 5 times the lower fees than Binance. I've used this exchange personally for over a year for my personal trading. I highly recommend you do the same thing if you take trading seriously. You know, lowest fees in the market, optional KYC. This is the exchange for everyone in my personal opinion. And if you sign up using my referral link, you can get a 15% discount on fees for life. Also, Crypto Academy. Everyone should know how to trade to a certain extent. And if you're not a trader, you don't like trading, cool. You should still know how to analyze a market, because if you can't read charts, guys, guess what? You're basically gambling. TA is much more important than FA. If you don't know that, you don't know much about the market, right? I can tell you as someone who's experienced in the market, I can tell you someone who's spoken to people who are much more experienced than me in the market, that technical analysis is much more important than any other form of analysis you can do. And if you want to learn how to trade, you can do it on the Become a Trader 10-unit course. I'll leave the website link in the description below, and you could throw us an email here at this email address on the website if you're interested and want more information. Other than that, guys, the VIP group is something you can check out. We've had an excellent start to Q2 season. We had, 310% profit on, can't remember the coin name, but we had 520% profit on FLM as well. And then we had some good breakouts on Link. We had some good breakouts on, I think, AVAX was the one. Regardless of that, many good breakouts. You can see the results for the last 6 months in the VIP group in the video description. And if you want to join the VIP group, all the relevant information is in the video description as well. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.